Welcome back. Good to have you. If you just joined us, you're watching Politics HQ here on News Central Television. Aliyu Audu, National Youth Spokesperson, Tinubu-Shettima Campaign Council, joins me now. Good to see you, Audu, and thanks for your time. Quickly, we've been speaking of youth participation, but first up, I don't know if you listened to Adetunji, and he's just given us the sad reality that some Nigerians are going through. Do you have any of such within your camp?
Not really. Honestly, I think we must understand that a number of young people have registered to vote and have participated in electoral practices for a long time. And it's impressive that we have an improved numbers registering to vote, and saddening to hear and feel all of the challenges they are going through. But like all of the other democratic processes in the world, it's still work in progress. We must believe in the system. We must continue to push until it gets better by every election cycle.
But again, still on preparations before we come into what you and your team, are doing. The preparation for this election, looking at what's happening in the country, but let's first talk about INEC. How satisfied or otherwise are you with the preparation so far?
If I put aside the Osun Tribunal revelations, I'll be honest to tell you that I've been, pretty much satisfied with INEC. Level of preparation and improvement. We must give them credit as an agency. They have improved from 2011 till date. We've seen improvement. Election after election, and it's only going to get better. We have to give ourselves some time, and we have to give everybody involved in every part of this democratic process, a bit of, let's cut each other or cut one another a bit of slacks. We see 24 years of consistent democracy. There's a lot to improve on. If United States of America still have issues in their presidential campaign after 260-something years, it means that after 24 years will be way better. They will be way better than where they are currently. So I like to look at it as glass half full as against half empty.
Your candidate has been speaking about the happenings in Nigeria, specifically the Naira redesign and the petrol scarcity. Take us through some of the hassles you have encountered as a person before we start looking at some of the key blame game that is going through political camps, more so yours.
It's saddening that and otherwise, from my personal assessment, and I think I have listened to the assessment of discerning minds, who have followed our politics for long enough time to be able to have the knowledge to actually make such calls on performance of governments and political parties. I would say, if not as a member of the APC, I would say it's saddening to know that an otherwise, fairly good administration, two-term administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is being brought to a
I think I lost your audio there. I can barely hear you. Aliyu, I think you have to unmute yourself. Looks to me that you placed.
Yeah, I did. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we missed out on that. You were saying because
I was saying that, and not just for being a member of the party. I think I'll be fair as a Nigerian who has actually followed political happenings, for the past, 30 years, from 92 till date. And I think that President Muhammadu Buhari's two term has been, fairly good. it could have been better, but compared to where we're coming from, it's been fairly good. It would be very disappointing, or it is already disappointing to see how, it is coming to a close on matters that should not, that should not cast a lot more of sad remarks on his administration. And it's not been a palatable experience, from first scarcity to, the Naira design. It's unfair, I would say it's unfair on the person of President Muhammad Buhari, because since he came into power in 2015, he tried to put an end to, the usual petrol scarcity in December. And we pretty much got past that until, a few, let's say 2 years or thereabout now. And it's been coming non-stop, and it's not good. The Naira redesign, I can't really explain why a government of 8 years would wait till 9 months to the end of your second term to redesign your currency. I think, in fairness to everyone, it's too huge a decision to be made by an outgoing government that has just 9 months, irrespective of all your reasons are for wanting to do it. Then the other question I would like to ask is, there have to be processes and systems put in place. I like to think of CBN as an institution and not just about an individual, which is why I would want to assume that certain committees, technical working group, department, project groups were put in place to, do background, do some work. How did this Naira redesign come up as a solution to whatever problem? And what are the other options on the table before this was picked? And what work went into seeing the impact and what this could mean to our economy or to the standard of living of the average Nigerian? We're just coming back from COVID. We're still dealing with a whole lot. I do not think that any government at all should be going through, short, medium, or long-term projects that will have, dire consequences on the life of the average Nigerian.
But again, Aliyu, I share the difficulty in trying to objectively speak on these issues, more so you're a party man. And but yes, we'll give it to President Buhari for the last 7 years. But by and large, this explains some of the concerns of Nigerians. They think that for a president who also doubles as the petroleum minister, he should be able to tell the people what exactly is happening. Do you have a sense of that? Because you going around campaigning for your party, people will be asking that question. So this is me here saying, what's going on?
I'll be lying to you if I say I know. I have asked that question in areas I should have asked, and I really can't honestly tell you I have an idea. Not an idea. It's beyond me. I think I can't explain it. It shouldn't be happening in the first place.
Certainly, it shouldn't be happening in the first place.
There is no valid reason.
I like to bring in some of the key concerns raised by your candidate and the governor of Kaduna State. Do you share in that?
I totally am in agreement with them. Totally in agreement.
You think there are saboteurs within your government?
Oh, yes, there are. Oh, yes. Without a doubt, there are saboteurs within the government. And my only question to them is, if a president has trusted you so much and kept you so close, and for the sake of trying to make things bad for an individual whom you have no reason to not want to succeed, for individual who is actually one of the biggest hands or mind or name behind you being in your whatever position to think you have that influence currently. Without him, you wouldn't be there. And you suddenly think to abort a project he's on or to thwart his success, you are willing to drag your man, President Muhammad Buhari, through the mud. Because this isn't about Asiwaju's coming in strong. This is about President Muhammad Buhari finishing strong. If these saboteurs do not care about how President Muhammad Buhari's finishing is assessed, just because they want to hurt someone else, then, I know that we have way too many people in Nigeria, too many good people in Nigeria, and I know that Nigeria as a country has always resisted people who have overplayed their hands, and the same thing will happen. The right thing will prevail. We've been on the right path, on the right track. We need to rescue Nigeria. We need to rescue Africa, and that journey started 8 years ago when President Muhammadu Buhari came in and started this U-turn. I like to tell a lot of people who care to listen. Yes, there's going to be discomfort. We can't all pretend like we don't know how we got here. We all know how we got here. You know, we are a country of people with very high taste. We love the good things of life, and we don't produce any of them. So we import them, and we worry how our naira is affected. The average man on the street wears foreign outfits. We drink foreign luxury drinks. The pubs, the clubs, the parties, the who is who in the society, exotic champagne, luxury drink, luxury outfit. These are all imported. But we still pretend like we don't know why our naira is falling. I mean, this is a country where we rather spend billions of dollars chasing education in Ghana. I mean, Ghana. Then we have a country where it is easier to get dollars to go to travel abroad for holiday than to get dollars to buy your equipment to come and produce something in Nigeria. Something's got to give. We can't eat our cake and have it. You know, we are going to get to a point where we'll all agree collectively that there's going to be a level that we shouldn't go below. And we should all look at ourselves in the eyes and tell one another the honest truth. If we must keep this lifestyle, there are a lot more we must do. And everything we need to do is what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed has been talking about. We need to produce. We need to develop our infrastructure.
Before we get there, Aliyu, you know, off the top of my head, the first fight for your party should be, if you want to rescue Nigeria and ultimately, as you said, rescue Africa, the fight should first start from within. Those who are making it almost impossible, as if assuming without conceding that your party is spot on, that we have sabotage within the government. How best do you think your government can actually expose these people 17 days before the election? Because if you don't have that fight out of your way, it just might cost you the election.
Yes, you're right. And the fight didn't start now because this set of people didn't start their work now. If you remember clearly, it was a struggle after the Adams Oshomole-led National Working Committee of my party was dissolved, and a caretaker committee was set in place that was supposed to, you know, administer the party for 6 months and give way and organize proper convention and give way for legally elected working committee member, National Working Committee to run the party. And that went on to about nearly 2 years or more than. Then when we were to do our convention eventually, you remember that there were a few people who wanted to hijack the party. They were caught injunctions stopping us from, I mean, the elements are still very similar. I mean, they're still the same. On the part of young people in the party, what we did at the time was come up with what we call the APC rebirth, because we were tired of coming up with a party that is supposed to be different, but acting like they were just same from, you know, the other party that we don't want to have anything to do with. We had a party that we have majority of our leaders who are not ready to abide by the constitution of the party, by the guidelines of the party. I mean, we have a party where they were not ready to allow fairness, equity, justice to play. You know, and this is our motto as a party. So we came up with the APC rebate, and we pushed, and a lot of other leaders in the party, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, stood up, and I mean, eventually we had a convention, you know, and we went ahead to have another free, fair primary election, transparent, and the best candidate emerged. So I am very confident that if within the APC we can overcome the obstacles, you know, and take the right step, however difficult it was, Nigeria as a whole will do that, and the APC will lead in doing that. 17 days is short, but we are Nigerians. We do the impossible things, and we have that. We will do it. All we just need is believe enough and look at the brighter picture and make the
Well, look,
decision and push. We'll get it done. That's why we are Nigerians.
I understand you're a very strong supporter of President Buhari, and some have actually accused the president of not being in support of Bola Tinubu until recently, before he started making some public campaigns for him. What do you think about those who think that there is some kind of ulterior or subtle moves against the candidacy of Bola Tinubu from the presidency?
It's okay to have different people with varying expectation of President Muhammadu Buhari. I mean, I grew up in Okene, in Kwara State at the time. And as a child, I happened to hear a lot. I heard a lot about the president. I could feel the president, as almost he was next in the state capital, Ilorin, at the time. But that's how big President Muhammadu Buhari is. But I have taken my time to study his person over the time, and many people have done that. And the one thing you give him credit for is the man who believes everybody should be given equal opportunity, fairness. I mean, he tried to do what he believes by his principle is right in the best interest of the generality of the people, and he sticks to it. Sometimes your relationship, acquaintances, and alliances demand much more from you, but being who he is, he is not against Asiwaju. He has always said that he wants the decision as to who will succeed him to be made by the people whose responsibility it is to make the decision. So for him, the party should decide who should fly their flag. And he was not going to use his office as the president to influence that in any way. I mean, it is not so good to be in the shoes or in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for all he has done to get someone like President Muhammadu Buhari to be the #1 citizen of the country. You will expect that any human being should expect much more in return, which is the natural, thing. But I understand the person of President Muhammadu Buhari. He believes that any kind of favor towards Asiwaju will mean that he's being unfair to the others. So he believes ensuring that the right thing is done is him doing Asiwaju enough favor. And I know on the other side, Asiwaju is one who has never had anything in his life given to him. He has never had anything on the platter. I mean, I guess
let's see if we can actually bring this in before we call it a day. And it has to do with what the INEC chairman has said. He's spoken about the population of young Nigerians coming into this election. And we've also seen one of the biggest opposition, the Labour Party, with its obedient movement, comprising a lot of young Nigerians. Now, from the APC fold, within the youth of the APC, how are you threatened, rather, by the obedient movement?
We are excited, not threatened. I mean, it takes as young Nigerian, we came into partisan politics, having studied the history of our country and followed through, and we are aware of what is being. It is unfortunate, rather, that some sort of, we'll always have individuals in the society who try to take advantage of a trend or of an opportunity. There are always opportunists abound. There are people who will latch on to whatever is going on. I'm excited. We all in the APC are excited that we have young people showing interest in how they are governed. Unfortunately, our history, we stopped teaching history in school. So what we've ended up with is a number of young people who do not know where we're coming from. And that saddens me, because if we do not reverse that, it means in another 20, 30 years, you are going to have people in their 40s who think Yahoo, who think all of the wrong things that trends online about Nigeria now is what defines us. That's not what defines us. So we need to reintroduce history in our school. Then we, as young people in partisan politics, especially in the APC, it's our responsibility to educate as many of them as possible. Yes, we encourage them, but we need to let them make those decisions from the right information. You know, if the quality of information that gets to them is flawed, if the information is flawed, they are going to make decisions that are flawed. We have people who are pretending to be who they are not. We have people who are served, who can't point to individuals that they have helped grow. They can't point to like landmark achievements they have done in their state. The statistics, the economic statistics of their state before or after them does not favor all of the claims they make, but they go ahead making it. I mean, we are in an era where anything trends. So someone will always take advantage, like someone, but we are not threatened, because I'm a techie person. I have gone around and I have never seen any of those retweets or likes that you have as many as 500,000. We are talking about the election that will be decided. I think our election this year will be decided by nothing less than 45 million to 40 million voters. Urban people who are online can't even make up to 2, 3, 4, 5 millions. No, they can't. We have about 176,846 polling units. And I saw an opinion poll online that polled, talking to about 6,200 people. Even if you say these people are from one political unit, one polling unit, you still would have covered the state. And that's supposed to be, but that trends online, and I see young people celebrating it, and it hurts me, because this is deliberate misleading, attempt to mislead the young folks. And you have an opportunist who is claiming to be who he is not.
Well, I think within politics, they call it strategy. But at this point in time, I'd like to thank you for your time, Aliyu, Audu. Many thanks for speaking with us here on Politics HQ. We do hope to have this conversation again just before your election. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.